Ready to call the meeting order, let's stand, say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yeah. Which, so we're going to message, just go ahead and start with that. Well, it's gonna be hard to do a roll call when he ain't here.
Just yell out.
Just yell out. Well, he must have another problem. So, go ahead and do the roll call.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Sims.
Yes.
Trustee George. Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
And here. We'll just have him as a late call. Okay, I need a motion to approve or amend the agenda as presented.
Make a motion for.
Second.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Trustee Sims.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Need a motion to approve the June 18th, 2026 board meeting minutes.
Make a motion.
Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Sims.
Yes.
Need a motion to approve the July 7th, 2026 special board meeting.
Make a motion.
Second.
Trustee Sims.
Yes.
Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Need a motion to approve for the approval of the finance report and pay the bills.
Make a motion.
Second.
Trustee Sims.
Yes.
Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Does anybody have anything in the audience?
She's done.
So I want to preface this by saying I am not complaining about the Public Works Department, but I was advised that I needed to inform the board and put it on public record that there is an issue with the south storm drain at my property. On July 4th, I observed water coming out of the storm drain. On July 5th, that morning, I noticed that it was accepting no water. While it had stopped discharging water on my property, it was not draining. I did reach out to Public Works, and thank you very much. They came out on a Sunday and broke it loose to where it started draining, but it was a very slow flow. So when it rained on July 10th, we were once again flooded because that is restricted. The morning of July 11th, because it's still not flowing, we went out and researched, and what I found was underneath the tower back there, you pull up on, and I apologize, my pictures are not great because my printer's not made for digital photos. I can forward anybody the digital photos that they want. If you pull up on Google Maps and look on the southwest corner of the tower back there, you will see a black dot. That black dot is a pole in the ground. When they were putting in direct buried cable, they hit the storm drain, but they left the hole open. So debris is falling in there,
They were putting in.
as well as the drain is crushed. Additionally, at the discharge at Great Creek, where it connects to the concrete support, it has disconnected itself. And again, these are not very pictured, but it has disconnected itself and fallen down, which also restricts flow. And the reason why all of this is important, passing on, is because that leaves my house underwater. And when I say underwater, if you have ever been in your house and had water blowing out your air conditioner vents, it's not enjoyable.
Did you say they were digging and they hit something there?
So there is a hole. That black spot is a hole that goes down, I don't know, 10 feet. They dug it out. They found, I don't know it, but you can tell they've done it, and they know they did it because they dug down to the storm drain, and then they put posts around the hole so nobody would drive down in it.
I guess it would be that tower's a communication tower, which I believe is for the railroad, so at some point in time years ago, when they probably installed that, they probably did the underground lines, communication line for that tower, would be my guess, being to the location where it's at, and they've evidently hit the storm line.
Yeah, and the problem is, we're not just talking my house, we're also talking tenants that are being damaged as well. So some of these are not the greatest pictures in the world.
That's that picture Chad showed.
So, well,
That's true about that.
I can put in a berm to protect my house. This is what's gonna happen to the neighbors on the north side of me.
So,
You can see where it did get into the neighbor's shed as well as their garage.
That's true going down towards the creek along the railroad.
correct, so that's the issue we're gonna have, is we're going to reach out to the railroad, and we think, well, I'm pretty sure that's all railroad property through there.
We think that's where that's.
Well, like I
Yeah.
said, back behind where her buildings are, where the old turntable was.
Correct, and right outside that, there's a catch basin that, her line comes into and then drains to the west. So 100% sure that it goes to that point? No, unless we dyed it, but more likely that's where it's going. And
I mean, obviously, I was doing what I could to trace it out. There may be other catch basins in there. But I did my best to walk out and try and identify the problem for the village to expedite, because obviously it's gonna rain again
Well, the big.
tonight or tomorrow, which is gonna put my house underwater again as well as
Well, that's what we're trying to find out, because where that sewer's located and where it runs to and how it runs, that sewer may belong to the railroad.
And I did a title search on it, I mean, quickly, but I went back to 1951 and I couldn't find any easements for the village of Tilton. Now,
And if it's not the villages, I just need to know, but what you have to understand, if it's not the villages, I'm gonna put a burn by my house.
We're
And
planning,
then all those people on the north, you can see by the last
well, right
picture.
now we're planning a search of, because the way Chad's got it drawn up, it runs down along the railroad track. So,
That would be my guess.
all the way to the creek.
Well, that should,
Yes,
that's
correct.
kind of a guess.
that's a, yeah,
And that's our best guess. It hasn't been dye tested yet.
Norfolk Southern.
Norfolk Southern.
Because I talked.
And that catch basin we were in on the 5th is actually on the railroad property, but
Yes.
I went up to their office to let them know we were gonna be there. Of course, no one's there, so we went and did it anyways. That's my concern. If it is ours, or we need to investigate it more, I'd like to make sure that if it is on their property, that we have permission by the railroad to be on their property and not get ourselves in some trouble.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, we're planning a search of it to find out exactly.
Right, but every time it rains, my house goes underwater and it is causing damage.
Is
As
that,
well as you've got tenants that you can see that are underwater that have equipment.
is that
I'm
the?
sending them down here.
Her drain? Or
Yeah.
which, the catch basin, or her where she drains into at?
Where does her area drain to?
The-
Catch basin just on the other side of the turnstile.
Back by the storage units is where all this water was stationed out, which in turn grew north
The
and,
problem is it can't drain south, so it all goes north.
Well, see, you used to have a swamp back there too.
And it's full. That's what I'm talking about. Ribby's guys came over Saturday and they wanted to know why they weren't drinking. And I said, because the hole was already full. It can't take any more water if it's not going down the pipe.
We'll figure something out. The first we need to find out if that drain belongs to the railroad, then we really can't mess with it.
No,
But we need to
and
come
I'm
up-
not
but then
disagreeing
we'll
with that,
work on a solution to your problem.
because I mean, I'll put in a berm that protects my house, but the problem is if all the water goes north, you can see how much water piled up to my neighbors on the north because I'm higher than they are. And I know you've had complaints from some of those neighbors to the north in past years.
Well, we'll work on two things. One, identify that sewer that belongs to, two, try to figure out what's gonna take the water off.
So that's my question is,
So like,
I'll assume because it's gonna rain tonight, it's gonna rain tomorrow.
they have an emergency number, Norfolk Southern does, and I called it for, because our guys had to go down there and work on the railroad. I can call them, like if I'm looking at these parcels and I click on them, there's no information, so as to who owns them, but they're right next to the railroad. If you want to
Well, the
look at
one where the
this,
tower is, I pulled up the one where the tower is.
okay,
If you click on it, it does say it's owned by Norfolk Southern.
When I
It says
drove
it's
up
owned
The
by-
GIS says that,
it's owned by who?
Norfolk Southern, where the tower is.
when
It
I,
says not found.
when I drove up hunting down there, there was a fence 50 foot off the railroad track, and that fence was lined.
But I can tell you the entrance into that tower has a cable across it with locks on both sides.
That's what I'm saying, from what I've seen in the drawing they had, that is going right down railroad right away, so.
Yeah, I mean, and it may be water district and it may be the railroads. I just need to know so I know whether to build the berm, but my
Honestly, I
point
think
to the
what they,
board is, you're gonna have a lot of neighbors upset if all that water goes north.
honestly, what I
Can
think.
you guys go look at it if
that
the
line
railroad gives us
used to
permission?
drain the old. turn.
Yeah, I mean, we need to figure out who
Build
it
it
is,
in,
but
they
yeah.
got a catch
Well,
basin in there.
If you look
Yeah,
at
the
this,
catch basin's about
tower,
30
everything
feet
around
to
it.
the north of it.
It's including the railroad, that parcel includes the railroad, so it's gotta be the railroad.
Right, I guess, yeah, I'm not against going looking at it, but
Yeah, I'll call, I can call, I mean, I can go call them right now, if I want to.
I mean, I was just advised that I needed to notify the board, show you the detriment of what's occurring.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining about Public Works, they came out, they cleaned it out, they agreed they're gonna dye test it, but
Like I was saying,
it doesn't stop it from happening every time it rains.
if that belongs to the railroad, we should not rely on that. We will, if that does not belong to the railroad, we'll take care of it. If it belongs to the railroad, we'll find another solution that puts us in charge of the line.
Yeah, cause I mean, there has been a new construction building in the last, I don't know, 3 to 5 years that didn't put any drainage in, and they dug back there also. So it's not just my water, you've got Ribby's water going there, you got Cisco's water going in there, and you've got the railroad's water, all using that drain on my property.
Has this gotten worse lately, or has it always been?
Well, we got exceptional rain too.
I get the excessive rain, but
That's what Bob's there.
no, I never had a problem until till July 4th weekend, actually.
So something may have happened in that span, because you didn't have it before.
Because July 4th weekend, it didn't rain at all, I had water coming out of it.
Yeah. I understand something may have collapsed in it or something, if it's been a long process, it's been like that, or if it's.
Yeah, no, because it has
No,
always drained, flowed well, never sent any water to my house.
More likely something that is.
Melinda, was the storm sewer that's north of your house, was it not working? Cause there's a storm sewer right there north of your house in that old alleyway.
No, it was, that picture that I show you,
I
the
can
storm drain is underneath it, and I have a video where you can actually see the whirlpool where it is draining. But the problem is, you're sending all the water that would go south, north, and that drain won't handle it. So.
well, Belinda, I'm gonna call them in the morning and see if our guys can go inspect it and see what's going on.
Well, we got the neighbor's property this week. So. Yes, there is a storm drain right there, and you can see the whirlpool where it's draining, but it can't handle.
That amount of water.
Correct, it can't handle the water from the south, it's too much. That is draining.
Right, which is not every day. We have 6 inches of rain in 2 hours.
Right, but I think the biggest issue is
Right.
that none of that water that was going south starts all going north.
Right.
It's gonna flood everything.
Tiffany's gonna call in the morning. And
Fair
once she
enough.
finds out what she's
I
doing,
was
she'll call you.
advised I needed to
Yeah,
put it on public record and notify the court.
I'm gonna ask them if our guys can go down there and look at it first, because they're not gonna send somebody out right away, and I think that'll be.
And I know none of us have actually confirmed that's the route for the storm drain. It's just based on the tools that I had to identify where water was running. That's where I found it.
Well, they
to
can
run.
figure it out if they get an opportunity to get on the road.
Well, and I'm gonna look for easements for the railroad too, although I don't know how they title them. I'll see what I can find.
Call Decatur.
Well, they've got an emergency number, and it said something about environmental spills, which this isn't an environmental spill, but, you know, water is spilling, so. See what they say.
Well, they,
Thank you.
Thank you.
anybody else from the audience has a comment? We'll get to who we- Is there any, committee reports? Sure.
That's our report, but, I think it was talking, I don't know, if I was talking a little bit on our stuff for TIF applications. We were talking about adding maybe an addition as far as projects that are larger. Something to show that they have funding for the projects before we go through all the other process of, different awards or amounts or anything. If we go through all the stuff and they find out they're not gonna get funded, you know, kind of I don't know what we would need or what we can get from businesses that are wanting to come in, but, a letter from the bank or something that shows that they are gonna be funded or, you know, what we ran into before with, there, you know, they had all these plans, we did all that work and, then they kind of fizzled out. What he's doing now, I'm assuming he's, proved now.
No, I mean, that's a good idea, but I'll make sure that they got financial, make sure they got the capital to actually do it.
Yeah,
But I don't know, if we need to make that part of the TIF application, or we just need to exercise that on the determination on how much we're looking to be putting into the project.
We could maybe put that on the tip application if it's over, like, say, you guys wanna do like a certain amount over. If somebody's coming in saying they're doing a $5 million, you guys.
that's what we talked about is, you know, it's over $1 million project.
Yeah, no,
Then,
it makes perfect good sense, you know, if we're gonna get into discussion on what we can do for somebody, they all feel who they can build.
Well, I think that's all.
yeah, that's,
Well, I mean, that's,
I think you're right. I think you just put in the process.
well, that's like that
Yeah,
workout,
say it.
well, that dropped because they flopped the bank, pushed him around, and he went up the forward, so instead of pushing it forward, he just told me to drop it, have, you know, before the board to drop it. That's why that happened, so that makes perfectly good sense. Oh, okay. Okay, need a motion for approval of the June 23rd, 2026 Fire EMS Committee meeting minutes. Mike, Bob, John.
A motion,
Trustee Barnes.
yes.
Trustee Finley.
yes,
Trustee Gardner.
Yes.
Okay, I need a motion for the approval of the July 13th, 2026 Finance Committee meeting minutes. Virgil, Vanessa, Courtney.
I'll motion. No. Trustee Sheets. Trustee Sheet. Trustee Sims. Yes.
I will say that's nice with that. Seeing some of the conversations and stuff. Nice to see.
Village Engineer Tom Overmeyer.
At the last meeting, the board approved or issued a notice of award to the contractor for the sewer line project, and I told you then I'd be bringing notice to proceed and agreement back, and I had that tonight. The I need the authorization for the mayor and clerk to sign the agreement and notice to proceed for the sewer lining project.
Need a motion? I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion to proceed with the sewer line project.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Whiteman.
Yes.
Trustee Sims.
Yes.
Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Trustee Sheet.
Yeah, I want the motion.
Once the project timeline starts, it's gonna be 90 days for substantial completion and 120 days for final payment. Farnsworth Building, what's the Farnsworth Building? You mean the fire station?
Yeah.
Fire station, I contacted them right around the holiday, 4th, and, they're making slow progress on getting us the preliminary documents, but I'll check in with them again next week, and hopefully we'll have something and maybe a meeting before the next board meeting, if we need to. I mean, like a committee meeting. That's
Yeah, we're
everybody, right?
We're gonna set a fire and EMS meeting, so add that in there.
You know when that's gonna happen?
Not yet.
Okay.
Let me
You
get
gonna
with
set
Lori.
it tonight, though?
Get with Lori and these two.
And I'll give that date to Farnsworth then. and
Sure.
Pressure on them to try to get it done.
We paid them, we might as well get.
That's it. Thank you.
Chris McMahon, report.
We ran 88 calls, for service, 51 of them being EMS, the rest being some type of fire or other service. The Queen of Hearts is going on, it's actually at $4,100, the pot is now. We're one away from getting another joker, so the other joker has been on the board, so it'll reset the entire board, or before somebody wins. We'll be hosting the I&I meeting, which is the May Vista and I&I Communications meeting. We'll be holding that July 29th. And we have set up 2 free classes, one for firefighting in September and one for company officer in November. Those classes will be free to our members to attend. They should be hosted by us. We did do our general maintenance. We have 10 people that have entered phase 3, basically module C. They're ending this week of mod B for VOT. After that, they'll do mod C, and then once all that's completed, we have 5 now, I believe, that have passed the state test. Some haven't taken it yet, but they don't have to take it all at one time. I mean, they can take all 3 modules at one time if they would like. And next step after we get everybody done, but that would be, we have that off. I'll look at trying to get a class here, or figure out how to get them in and have that off once everybody gets their certificates in. That's all I have, and I'm not asking for nothing.
For those that haven't done the BOF yet, are they planning to take all 3 at the same time, or? What?
A couple of them were just, I think they're lazy. They could have signed up and they didn't, and now they're signing up now, and then they're gonna take them. Couple guys that did tell me that they want to take all 3 at one time, so it's just a 300 question test and be done, rather than go 3 different times to the testing center, because they have to go out to DAC and they only do it 2 days, only
Sure.
2 different days. So
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that we're,
Yep.
I'm sure the board wants to make sure that
So, yeah,
if we're
yeah,
spending
we'll-
something, we're gonna get something.
yeah, we're keeping on them, so we're keeping on.
EMS coordinator, Butch Fields.
That's all, 91 dispatches, 48 Tilton dropped 1 due to being on a call, 31 Lynch covered 2. Second outs for Lynch. Oakwood 4 dropped 1 due to being on a call, and Georgetown 8. As far as our updates is that continuing to do the QAVSO, we're caught up, but it's an ongoing thing. Tenant department head meeting. Did the med audits of all the units, and ordered the drugs for the units. They came in today. Had to send unit 2, to Carnegie for some work. We decided to go ahead and do complete vehicle maintenance on it. They replaced the front motors, the brakes on the front and rear, tires, wheel bearings, races, did an oil change and alignment. I talked to the alignment guy the other night. He said that thing really, really bad out of alignment. Unit 3, I'm trying to get that into Carnegie next week, and we're gonna do a complete maintenance on that as well, checking all the bearings and the brakes and everything. And the reason why I'm gonna do it on Unit 3, because Unit 2 is our newest unit, and it had to have all that. So, talked to, I think it was Ryan, at Carnegie, said that the bearings are really loose on Unit 2. And that's what we had locked up on Unit 1 was a bearing, so must be a Ford thing. We hired one new EMT, reactivated one EMT, still working with the ESO and the CAD import now as far as mileage. Now it doesn't seem to be a ESO problem, now it seems to be a Tyler system problem. And worked on the schedule of the EMTs. In your package, you're gonna see a quote for a Generac generator to replace at the house. During the couple storms we had, we lost power. We're probably the only facility that we have in Tilton that does not have any backup power. You know, I could care less if we have power, so they have lights. We need power for the computer and for the environment, you know, for air conditioning or heat. And with that, I'll turn the floor over to Mike.
Yeah, so I think that, weren't you just talking about the generator?
Yeah, the price went up at Lowe's. It's not 60, whatever. What was it, 65.33? But it's the same price at Menards, 72.59, and we'll get 11% back. So I think we should get it at Menards.
I would agree there. And then we're probably gonna vote on that first.
Huh?
Do we need a motion on that first before we move on to something else?
Motion.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'll make a motion for the generator.
So it's gonna be 72.59 plus, as long as we can get it from Menards, 11% back. We'll have to order it tomorrow. Cause it says good through 7/19/26.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Barnes,
Yes.
trustee Sims. Yes.
And you see the next one is the, Arc Electric to install the generator for $1,900. So I'd like to make a motion for Arc. to Install the generator.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Barnes,
Yes.
trustee Sims. Yes.
11.4 and 5 kind of go together. So we talked with Jay about getting the generator going. We provided him the building that Butch had drawn up for the electrical on that side to give us a quote. You can see that quote there at 18.6. So to go, obviously, we can't have electric without a building. So I would suggest taking Butch's information that he drew out. We do have some specifics. Talked with Ruby a little bit on, different things to put in it, so we can get the details out, so we can go to bid for the building. As you can see on 11.5, to look at the building, it's a 40 by 60 building. I think we talked about it before.
There are gonna be doors on the back too.
No, it's just the 2 doors facing the fire station.
Oh,
And then it'd have a bathroom, basically 8 by 10 bathroom, so it'd have to be ADA accessible. Everything has to be at this point. It'd have 6-inch concrete floor, 14 tall building, 12-foot ceilings, 10-foot doors. You'd have to have basically an 8 to 10-foot approach, oil water separator. So we kind of went through and got everything that we would have to have in there. A couple of big fans in it. Have heat, no air, of course. Am I missing something?
I think that's it. Got 2 man doors and, talked about the roof on the house at the last board meeting, and the discussion in our EMS meeting was, possibly putting, a metal roof on the house at the same time that this was done. But not only that, from what Brian can figure out, and we probably have to have Chad maybe look at it as well, if the sewer line would run underneath this. Maybe it would be a good time to take that sewer line up, make sure it's not clay, put a brand new sewer line in before concrete can be poured.
Yeah.
All right, and this doesn't include any kind of concrete parking lot or anything like that. There was talk about maybe shipping the parking lot right now that's there. This isn't a fixed all for everything. This is the direction that, the conversation went in the EMS fire committee meeting. And it was asked of me if we like where we're at. Absolutely we do. Nobody wants to move, and, you know, it was said in other meetings about having more developers draw. We don't need no more drawing. We don't need to spend no more money on getting architects to get something what we need right now. I'm just, and I'm not saying, you know, that against you, Tom, or what we, you know, went that way, but this went a different direction. You know, do I want a bigger newer station for everybody? Absolutely. But we can't come to an agreement with anything, and I think that the three board members were there, came to an agreement. And I, you know, you all look, everybody can look at me all you want, I'm not the one even put it up, but I agreed to it.
I'm just looking at you talking.
No.
My only concern in this, and great, but, so now that we've been on this topic for the new fire station for how long now? How long?
3 years.
Okay, years. So we're gonna spend money on this building. No offense, nobody. So is this gonna be the reason now? We ain't gonna worry about a new building down the road. We got this one, everybody's sufficient.
No, I think that's what Butch just said. Was that,
Well,
I understand.
Well,
Butch,
like I
I
said, we've been
understand where
saying
you're
we're gonna
coming.
get new stations for years, and here we still are in this spot right now.
Trust me, I've
That's
been the
not-
biggest proponent of firing the fire station. But it's obviously not worked. But I know at this point, that fire station is bursting at the seams.
No, I agree.
With $50,000 that we have on a fundraiser that's sitting in the bank, I think that can probably pay for at least a third of this, if not half of it.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I didn't buy a raffle ticket to build an ambulance garage.
Well, I can tell
I
you,
bought a raffle ticket for a fire station.
well, it's
And
one you.
half the members up there feel the same way. We feel like we're getting kicked in the butt every time something comes up. It's not this, nothing against Butch and the ambulance service, but it seems like when they ask for something, they get it, and we get something, all the way down the road. Like I said, it's been 4 years we've been arguing this.
Whoa. Let me stop you, Doug. Do you or do you not have a ladder truck?
Yes.
Okay. Do they or do they not need a place to house that ambulance to make room for you guys in the fire station? So at this point in time, what Mike and them are suggesting, I think is a good idea because it allows them to get out of the station. If a new station gets built, money from the village will go to build a new station, whether it be one or the other, okay?
And I will say, that to piggyback off that, I don't think we said no to the fire department for anything. Hell, we just waxed a truck. So I mean, I don't think we're at the spot where, and correct me if I'm wrong with anybody up here, that we're trying to say that.
I wasn't just saying, I was saying the fire and EMS as a whole, the new station.
Well, absolutely.
I'm afraid, you know, well, we did this, you guys got room now, they gained a little bit more room, we'll just sweep this under the rug for another 5 years.
I'm 150% with you because that's usually what happens. We put a Band-Aid on something and it's okay, and then we don't refer back to it till 15 years down the road, and we're like, well, we shot ourselves in the foot. So I'm totally with you. However, for what we need right now and the money we have, because one point that Tiffany did make at the Fire and EMS committee meeting was that our bond is up in 27, is that right?
The end of next year.
So it is a possibility to revisit something to do. I am not a proponent to put this up and forget about a new fire station.
And I agree, I am not either.
So as long as I'm here,
And
you'll
I'm not
always
saying,
have my
I'm not saying you guys will, I've been here long enough to know how things work around.
I totally understand it. So, but yes, to say that, and, yes, I'm in agreement with you, but no, we're not, my opinion, no, I'm not trying to do this in lieu of, at this point, because I do know if we pull that stuff out of that station, it now allows for other things for the fire department to be there, which in turn opens another building up.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
So that's but I think it's important to hear the thought process behind it, because I've sat up here many a times with a thought process, and it doesn't, until you hear the whole thing, and sometimes it still doesn't make sense. So, I like to share that, at least what's in my head. But that's the thought behind it. So I'd like to put it out for bid, you know, make a motion to put the, pole building out for bid with,
I'll second it.
With the electric,
well,
I'll do that.
come back to that one.
electric and woods. Well, I was just saying, I don't know what I was getting at, excuse me, but what I was getting at is when you put the pole barn out in bids and the electric to it, so it's all one bid.
Well, but you don't have, like Jay, for example, is not gonna build the building. So he would not bid out on the building for
Well,
Jay.
well, but he could be the subcontractor.
Well, he could be, but at this point, he could have, he's always done this right. and
Okay.
I still think it's good.
No, that's no
And
problem.
the idea behind we're still on talking about it, but the idea behind the roof was that you may get a little cheaper roof if you're putting up a pole barn too, so kind of putting it all together would be an idea.
Make sure when you, I don't know how you're gonna advertise, but make sure you, let everybody know it's prevailing wage project.
I'm sure Tom needs to be involved.
I think we're gonna need some bid, some sort of bid documentation.
You got, okay.
Is that something you can help with, Tom?
We'll get together next week. Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Sims. Yes. Trustee Barnes,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Flynn.
Yes.
So my understanding is we'll come back to the pole barn after the decision on it.
Well, you can still go ahead and
Or do you want to wait? Well, or do you want that to do it now?
Unless we approve a bid, then,
You wanna do that?
yeah, that's fine.
So I would say I make a motion for the electric, or, sorry, I had to get to it. 18,600 for Arc Electric on the pole barn, once it's accepted and erected.
Trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Barnes,
Yes.
trustee Sims. Yes. Trustee Sheets.
Yep.
Trustee Flynn.
Yes.
One other question before we leave it. So did we get the roof involved with that pole barn thing, or do you want a separate one, Lori, for?
You gonna put a metal roof on that?
we're talking
Somebody
about?
might be an
Well, that's.
expert in building the building, but they might not be an expert in doing the roof. So
That's a
maybe we
pretty
should
clean
do two
roof on it,
separate.
metal roof on it. Yeah, metal worked great on it, cause it's just.
If it's less than 25,000, we don't have to bid it out.
So why don't we,
Why don't we ask?
we just wanna put something out
Well, no,
for
that's what
bids?
you want to do.
Or not, or just ask, you would just wanna get
Do you
quotes?
think it's gonna be less than 25,000 for a metal roof? I do.
I don't know if
Oh,
there's
yeah.
one on.
I have no idea.
Yes,
My son's house just got next to it. And it was
so
12.
let's just get estimates.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
less, it'll be less.
Butch, you wanna grab estimates?
Or maybe.
Get estimates on the roof?
Yeah, I can do
There's
that.
a place that, oh, but they're Indiana, oh, well, this is a public works project,
Century.
it has to be,
Century is who's done at both fire stations, they leak.
it has to be an Illinois contractor.
Well, I imagine the two new ones will be
This
fed.
falls under that Public Works Act, since the unemployment rate is higher.
So we can talk about who to get some ideas of who to go to and stuff like that, but let's just get some
Yeah.
some estimates and go from there.
I can do that. Did the other guy ever get us?
Yeah.
Thank you, I'll get it.
And they still, we still have to pay prevailing wage, but
Mike, do you wanna go ahead and make a motion on 11.1?
Well, that's what they.
That we're just gonna get estimates first.
No, that's what, you know, basically, you're getting estimates.
Go get bids.
Yeah, so if you want.
But if it's under 25, we don't, are we doing that? Do you want it like that or?
It comes in under 25,000.
we don't?
I mean, you know, if you start getting bids and they're like, it's, because with prevailing wage, they still have to pay prevailing wage. Maybe we should just approve that in case we get a bid in 2 weeks and it's like 52,000 with prevailing wage. I mean, you know, that's, much higher
Okay,
wage.
so 11-1, we're just gonna, I'll make a motion to place the roof out for bids, estimates.
Second it. Trustee Wagner.
Yes.
Trustee Sims. Yes. Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Sheets.
That one there, you kind of cover your backside on that, we power supplies, but. So, is that all you have? Unless you have anything else?
No, that's all I have. Thank you.
TJ George, Public Works, sir.
First off, just want to say, I'm not back yet, but I'm here. Thanks Chad and the crew for keeping it going. I hopefully should be back by the end of next week, released hopefully. Set up some bands, when they get to play, weather committee. This weekend's not looking good.
It sure is.
It's not,
No. Speaking of rain, a lot of our things been consistent helping Chad and Tony with the substantial amount of rain that we've got. He had a lot of issues going on. Been trying to get this playground started. As you know, weather has not been cooperative to even get it in the ground yet. Other than that, had a few sewer problems, Saloon by the Rail. Seemed to be their problem. It's their line must lay flat coming out of the building and it seems to stop right at the manhole. Our manhole's usually clean. We hit their line with some water, it empties them out. Had a sewer problem over on 603 Central, some tree roots. They got that opened up. Liberty Street, have a guy that's had some basement issues with flooding for quite a while now. Chad's been digging into it. I don't know if Doug's been in on that, but trying to locate the storm sewer that runs down the alley so we can figure out, try getting him attached to that to help with the flooding of his house and his neighbors and everything else too. Other than that, since we're on a building kick, I'll bring mine up. I need a committee meeting set along with Chad. I've been working for about a month now on trying to get a design and prices set up to get rid of the old junky semi-trailers that we got sitting over there for storage, to be able to put a barn up there beside the other barn to get more of our stuff in there and then relieve us from overcrowding in the winter. We want to try and keep all the equipment out of the weather. I just like to set up a meeting where I can sit down, touch base with my design and what I've been working on.
What do we have in the
Piggyback off Chad's. I know Chad wants one too.
What do we have in the trailer?
What do we have?
We have one trailer left?
We have two. They're the black trailers sitting right out there. A lot of our traffic control devices, barricades. I get rid of them and put the building in that spot. It'll be a little smaller than the building that's there next to it, but then now I can get everything put in there situated. I can now move equipment around and overcrowd take away the overcrowding I have now in the buildings, especially in the wintertime when we gotta put plows on wheels. We're like stacking things on top of each other just to have room. I reached out to a few places, got some rough numbers. Still waiting on a couple to get back with me too, so wanted to talk about that. I know Chad's wanting to set up a meeting, so I figured we'd just throw that in there, make it all one meeting.
If you ain't never been in a trailer, you don't want to walk into it.
They were old haunted house trailer.
I'm glad you'll break an ankle or a neck.
No, them ones wasn't, no.
Yeah,
Mark Ames got a hold of them.
Yeah, I assume you want to set one up. I know we were talking more ago, and
Same.
did you want, when you're gonna be gone?
for virtual power.
I'll be gone. Let's just give it Lori. Ordinance and fire and EMS need to do it too, so I'm on all three of those. So the most-
Okay.
Yeah. All three jobs.
That's all I got.
I will say this, you know, the stuff trouble's always had my sewer with the big rains. Never had, so whatever has been done for the sewer plant and all that, it has made a great improvement. Or someone put a big ass pump somewhere. No.
They got a workout, Chad, vouch for that.
Police chief, Bill Bernardi.
On the month of June, we ran 378 calls for service. Officer made 14 arrests, 16 PM today. Officers issued 93 citations with 37 warnings. Ordinance violations, there were 6 issued, no ordinance warnings. Our new officers, mine is last night in training, then next week he'll start on his own. Roy Herman. The only thing I have for tonight is for you guys is to approve the SRO agreement with a school, continue that into next year. They requested some wording changes, which we did, and then Tiffany raised the fee to cover any additional costs for next year.
3%. An account.
Amy's doing it.
Everything.
Yes.
Question? Need a motion? I'll make the motion.
A second.
Trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Barnes,
Yes.
trustee Sims,
Yes.
trustee Whitenberg,
Yes.
trustee Peak.
Yes.
That it, Phil?
Yes, that's what I'll do.
Sewer operator Chad Kessler.
I don't really have anything.
Great.
Everything's flowing.
You already took care of the meeting before the meeting, didn't you? Yeah, it's okay. I guess there's no code.
I got an update on the enforcement officer.
Okay. Code enforcement.
He, came to me last week and let me know that he is resigning at the end of the month, so we are going to have to find someone, just a heads up. I talked to Phil a little bit about it, I think we kind of know what we need. But hopefully by next month, maybe we can talk to a few people. See if we can get somebody on board. Are you guys okay with that? We'll bring them to the next board meeting to get approved.
Any questions?
Do you have regulations as far as what all qualification wise they have to have?
Well, okay, so Dave Biggerstaff suggested hiring a retired police enforcement officer or something.
Well,
Just because they generally know the laws, ordinances and things like that, and they know how to approach people. That's what he suggested. What do
I
you,
just, I don't know, yeah, I don't think you suggest it. I don't know if there's certain,
there's not like really criteria.
okay, I don't know
I
if
mean-
they had the,
They will have to, get into the international building codes and the international building codes, for rentals, I think it is,
I don't know if Dr. Lesnar to say, you know,
and property maintenance.
Well,
They're gonna have.
make sure what we get is,
Yeah, they don't have to be because doesn't have general inspector.
Okay.
license
No.
inspector.
What ordinance violations are you guys issuing? Grass, stuff like that?
We've been helping Dave with some of that, and the new iWorks, we added in there when we put them out.
I understand, the building, that's gotta be,
Just the grass, the garbage, things like that, we work with him. When he goes out and drives around, obviously he's been doing that, but when we catch other things, we just put him into the iWorks and then he maintains it from there.
It's interesting to go through that. I've maybe even checked with area at Westville and who they have. It may be,
I don't, do they have anybody right now?
they do, I can't remember the name.
I think they just hire someone.
Yeah,
Okay,
that may be something where we can
I'll check.
get somebody who's already in that.
Well, I've already checked, Tilton's guy's pretty good, but, he's already said he's not interested, and that was before Dave Biggerstaff.
I think this is a lady
What could
in
you-
Westville, maybe.
A what?
It's a lady, a woman.
Oh,
I don't know. I can't remember.
okay,
her name.
I'll call
That is. IT department.
Don't really have much. After the last storm we did have, the PSB's radios actually went down. So our fire department and public works were both sharing the same frequency on our tower. So I brought up about getting a price to put another repeater up so that fire can have theirs and public works, because we were kind of walking over each other because the other channel was pretty much crazy all over the county with everybody trying to talk at once. I did actually get a quote, but we can't bring it up tonight, but I'll bring it up next board meeting, to be voted on. And then at the same time, I'm gonna try and also have the camera stuff ready with the quote for that. So that way it's the same tower guy. He can hopefully put up the cameras and the stuff all at once. So, that's all I got for that.
I would say that, and I know you're like many a times overwhelmed between fire department and IT and everything else that you do. I don't know, 17 other hats that you wear. But the recording portion for the meetings and stuff, I know that's
Yes.
live stream.
Yes.
And reach out to somebody if you don't have time to do it, just
That's fine.
have somebody else.
I researched cameras last board meeting and completely forgot until this board meeting. I sat down on it. Yep, I forgot to finish researching that, so.
The
Yes.
public is wanting to join and stuff, which I think it's just one of those situations.
Yeah.
But like I said, I understand you
We
have
can-
many hats.
Well, that's part of it. Brian knows all, if he runs into where he don't vote, all I have to do is ask. So,
Speak up.
he's a good shot.
That's all I got.
He's overwhelmed.
Look report, Lori Fiddle.
All right, Southern FOIA request fulfilled, 3 new LexisNexis. Prepared 4 onboard meetings, 10 board meetings. Posted agendas, completed minutes. Coordinated 1 columbarium niche at the cemetery. Provided the auditor with copies of minutes, resolutions, IGAs for the audit. Ambulance and billing was configured, the sling out for August 2nd to August 30th. Billed $119,050.45 in charges, posted $40,890.82 in payments, and adjusted $30,188.41 in adjustments. Reviewed the 91 runs for billing, verification, insurance, address. That provided the auditor with written copy of the ambulance billing steps for the audit as well. And filled the 2 calls for VA transfer, turned down due to lack of personnel.
City Administrator report, Tiffany Jones.
We've got Mission Square going for, deferred compensation. We've signed on the agreement, so we'll be having a meeting with all the departments about, that added benefit that people can take advantage of. We got permission from the GM caretaker to do the, fireworks. We had to do a new agreement. And I hope we don't have to do another. Let's cross our fingers for this weekend. I worked on the SRO agreement with the attorney and forwarded it to the mayor, police chief, added to the agenda. Followed up with Westmer about the lots, on, behind the house on the corner of 14th and Outland. I also followed up with him about the eminent domain, about the T3 agreement. Talked with, Realtor, about a Tilton property be sold, and he's met with a lot of developers. He's gonna be referring us to a few of them. Filed an insurance claim with IMO, talked to animal control. They inadvertently gave us a parcel of property that they didn't mean to give it to us back in 2018. County finally caught it, and they're wanting it back. But we need to annex it first because it's the parcel right behind animal control that never got annexed into Tilton for some reason.
The reason I wanted back is to look at possibly.
Where's that at?
Building a new building.
Right behind animal control, there's like 3 parcels. There's like an L-shaped one and then there's a square. They gave us the wrong one. I sent several work orders for tree limbs, requested insurance policy for audit, attended TIF meeting, fire and EMS meeting, and special board meeting, calculated sales tax revenue from dispensary, did payroll, paid taxes and entered bills while treasurer was on vacation, checked sales tax revenue from Culver's, had attorney prepare liens for 1916 South Washington and 1012 Glendale, and I got those recorded, so there's liens on both properties.
Question? You do the passes?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Treasurer report, Tiffany Jones.
So Cass was asking, and she talked to the auditor, we have 2 bank accounts that we haven't used in years. And we need to unrestrict them so that we can close them. And we're gonna move the money, the rebuild Illinois money is gonna be moved to motor fuel tax. Yeah, it has to be moved there because it was an MFT fund. And rebuild Illinois are FEMA jobs now, and both of them have to be moved to MFT. I'm sorry. Rebuild Illinois is going to general fund, but there's $3,000 in it. MFT is gonna get $147,000.
We'll spend it next year.
Question?
Thank you.
Need a motion? Unrestricted rebuild Illinois and Illinois Job Now bank account. Second.
Trustee Sheets,
Yes.
trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Whitenberg,
Yes.
trustee Simmons,
Yes.
trustee Lawrence.
Yes.
Hey, Bill, can I jump in real quick? Are you talking about the property behind the old sewer plant back there?
Not that parcel. Okay, so if you're on GIS,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so.
I'm just trying to get my bearings.
Right, yeah, I understand. So you see animal control, and then there's that L-shaped
Yeah.
right behind that,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another parcel right behind that.
That's the old sewer plant.
Okay, so
Look at number 23 on your onboard, on the property screenshot.
This one?
The one that's lined out in red?
Yeah.
That's the old sewer plant. How was that?
I think they're talking about the square, the L one.
Well, the red one, I mean, that's the old sewer plant. We did a lot of work filling in the pit.
We need to talk to him again about this, okay? I thought the sewer plant was further back where the,
No.
columbarium is.
No, that's it right there.
Okay, well, they deeded us the wrong property,
No.
they're saying. But yeah, okay.
Good news is everything's.
I don't know anything about property, but what they were discussing was possibly building a new building. I don't think that property has been big enough for it.
It's about, what did I say, like 3 acres. Well, they're gonna do a lot of work because there's a bunch of underground pipes and lines from that old sewer plant running into there.
What do we do with that property?
We filled in a bunch of holes. We got the pits filled in. We got the building taken down. Cleaned all the trees off of it because it was ours. So we've been maintaining it.
That's probably worth $4 or $5 million.
Yeah, I'm sure.
350,000.
Because the L-shaped is already done.
Yeah, so if you talk to Megan about that.
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
we'll call Steve Miller or Gary Hogger because they know about it.
Should we go ahead and do it?
We need to annex it anyway, because it's in Tilton, it just needs to be annexed.
And they already give it this. Make sure it's ours by annexing.
If you ever want to grow the columbarium area, that'd be honestly the spot to do it.
So it's number 22.
Yeah, I can't remember why we wanted it in the first place. They just wanted to get rid of it because they didn't want to maintain it.
No, I'm just talking.
I'm done.
Mayor's report, I'm just gonna make this sweet. I went to the first mayor's council that's been set up through, Remain Advantage. Remain Advantage meeting and met with 2 developers. That's about all I did. Family problem slowed me down a little bit this month. Okay, let's see here. Ordinance 2026-0716, an ordinance to set date for a public hearing for the Tilton Tax Increment Financing Development Plan and Project 6, set for September 17, 2026 at 5:30 PM. I need a motion for that.
Make a motion.
Second.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Barnes,
Yes.
trustee Sims,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
Yeah.
trustee Whitenberg.
Yes.
Ordinance 2026-0716A, an ordinance annexing certain territory to the village of Tilton, Vermillion County, Illinois, 2.86 acres abutting Summer Cemetery Road. Discussing. Need a motion.
Second.
Trustee Whitenberg,
Yes.
trustee Barnes,
Yes.
trustee Sims. Yes. Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Sheets.
Bring it, Brentwood Law. I've got a question.
Yeah, so Zach Howe came last month, and I've got his phone number. And me and Lori looked in the minutes, and he had bid $1,000 for it previously. Do we want to talk to Western about providing an ordinance to sell it to the neighboring property owner, Zach Howe, for $1,000?
That's one line department.
Yeah.
Thought we brought up about just giving it to them.
You're
It's up to
right.
you.
That's one less for them to vote.
We have at one point a lien or something on that property.
That they wipe the taxes off.
Did-
Make a motion, we just give it to them.
Second. Second.
Trustee Sims. Yes. Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Whitener.
No.
That trailer, we condemned for taxes. The county's not doing anything about it. We just need to get that trailer out of there. Nice, Lord.
One, the tree.
Motion?
We just have, it's like, Joey just gonna tear it down or somebody?
I think we
bid
could
for
just
tearing
find
it
somebody to pull it out of there and get rid of it. Take it to
Is it?
the
down? I don't
Big
think that's
trailer?
gonna happen.
No.
I don't think it'll
Yeah.
move.
Yeah, I don't think you're buying anybody, even if they'll pull it out, they're just got so much to
They
it.
won't tear it down.
You're just gonna be better off tearing it down.
I don't think it's gonna take that much. I'll get a quote.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it, but I don't think you'll find somebody that can pull it out of there.
The records just take it, sit on a flatbed. and-
Need a motion? The demo 1529 Meister?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Trustee Whitener.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Sims. Yes. Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Number 25, perpetual easement pin 2319-609-042 and 2319-609-43.
This was, what we talked about, those lots, that Nicholas White wanted, and we had done an easement like this prior, about not letting anybody put structures on it. So Westner did the easement first. He hasn't done the agreement to where we give the lots to the guy, but this is just the easement that we have on the property, so nobody can build anything on it or put permanent structures.
We're not giving the property away.
Yeah, but we have to do this first.
Yeah, that we're going to try to give the property away,
To
or
the Nicholas White.
is this the same property that you talked about that we bought the houses across the street? and
No.
That's not,
This is on the corner of 14th and Lincoln or Atwood.
Well, it's the same bridge. We bought the ones
The
across,
bridge.
we bought the ones across the street so we can have access. And these ones are on the other side that they're wanting to give away.
But we're securing the access.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't-
so we're securing access, but that's what my question is that, or the thought process was that we were going to sell them or give them to this guy, which is going to, and the conversation, I believe, was he's gonna put a fence up or something, and then we couldn't get to it, and all that, is that same conversation?
I said, I think so. If you
No
put a
permanent
fence up-
structures.
No permanent things, but then I believe, if my memory is correct, didn't you say something, if you give it away when we purchased across the way, and how are you gonna, you gotta have access to that bridge if something happens?
Well, that's what this easement's for, is to give us access to the bridge.
And I understand that
I don't
easement, and
know.
I'm all for that, but as like I'm saying, is it about getting rid of that property?
About getting rid of that property, I think. I mean,
Yeah,
lots not to mow.
That's what we had talked about. And the guy said he would put a fence up, but he would leave it so that if you ever needed to work on it, he would leave enough room in between and be able to pull the fence up.
I guess I'm confused because I thought last time when we talked, it was a scenario of not giving that property away.
I thought we talked about giving it to him. Can we have,
Yeah.
look at the minutes from the last meeting?
I guess maybe I was mistaken.
You mean, not get rid of the property, period?
Well, I actually thought the conversation was to give the property because of the noise factor, but the question was being able to maintain the bridge structure, so that's where the perpetual easement comes in, because if he even did build a fence and that bridge needed to be worked on, we have every right to tear that fence out to get to that bridge.
I'm looking at the minutes.
It's still gonna be a fight.
They also offered there's two parcels, they offered the other one, the other person to the other side, and they didn't want.
But
My
across,
question is,
but across the bridge, we purchased property so we can get there, and now we're gonna give property away.
Where did we purchase property?
Didn't we, am I correct?
We purchased that lot too, because there used to be a house set there. So both sides of the bridge, where there's empty lots, we purchased the property years ago to put the bridge in, yes.
Well, I think the main reason for the purchase was that's probably on Ed Shelley's house and that through there.
Correct.
They did that so they had money to move, probably. So that was it, was it here Coleman on the other side? Brown's, they asked her to go find a piece of property and then they paid for.
I don't remember the gist. I just know there was numerous houses on both sides.
Village Attorney Western was directed to draft a formal agreement reflecting those conditions, including a permanent easement for bridge access, prohibition on permanent structures, and the owner's responsibility to remove any fence if required. Board agreed to present the agreement to the homeowner and bring it back for final approval.
And if he doesn't apply for a permit, do you have a fence permit?
No, not yet, but we're getting ready to.
You can put it right on that permit, subject to this easement.
Well, and Weston talked about putting those restrictions in the deed also.
Yeah.
Even though it's already an easement, he wanted it to carry with the land.
Yes.
my question, if something comes up and you guys want to tear his fence down and he files something in the courts, is that gonna hold stuff up?
Of course.
So if we have an emergency on the bridge for whatever reason.
I mean, that's what this easement does. It retains your right.
Well, I understand that, but I'm just saying, he has the right to sue. He has the right, everybody has the right to sue. Is that going to tie this up and prevent anything from getting done?
No.
This is what you
I
guys.
think that's what the legal wording from the attorneys coming in at, is because it gives the village right that works need to be done on that bridge, that fence has to be removed. They have the same thing I dealt with in Danville, because they had easements where people put fences up. And when they refused to move the fences, the city went in there and took the fences out, and they had no recourse because it was a legalized easement, and they had to have gain of access to it.
It's just like a right of way, you know, if somebody puts something on a right of way and somebody needs to go in there and get to it, too bad, it's moving.
But you always get the landowner.
We just dealt with that when we did a fourth main down Delta Street. We had.
Yeah, they had to move their fence and
Fences and buildings, had to be moved.
But you always get the first option to the landowner to move that fence, or it's gonna have to be moved.
Especially if they're getting a bigger yard and you don't have to, then they have to maintain it forever. The village takes off their maintenance list. Really doesn't serve it, I mean, has no other use really.
And the same that Tom brought up too, if they were coming in for a permit for a fence to be put up around it, we could restrict it to keep them so far away from the wall that.
And we don't want them to, we want to be able to walk through. You got right of way there still. You know, the lot doesn't go all the way to the face of the bridge. You know, there's a right of way there, so we won't be able to like build the fence up to the bridge face. They'll have to stop at the property line. But I think it's a good idea if you start requiring permits to build fences, because people build fences over the whole property lines all the time.
I didn't get building permits, and I didn't get fence permits.
We get building permits.
Well, that's,
What I'm saying is.
when you have your fence put up, we wasn't done it.
No, but I mean, there's 3 buildings that have gone up around me in the last 3 to 5 years. Have you issued permits for all 3?
The house on Elm we did. What else?
Cisco and 2 on Trailways.
I don't know about treadways, but we don't have somebody driving around all the time saying,
But
we
that's
got
what
a
I'm
new
saying,
building.
if they don't get building permits, what makes you think they're gonna apply for a fence permit?
I think Cisco did when they, Central Illinois Scale. Yeah,
That was part of what bigger staff was kind of
yeah.
looking at as well, so I think that moving forward, that's.
Well, I know Cisco had something to do because if you know, we gotta go down and look at it. Because of where their building was in comparison to your property.
And they didn't have a permit. And their property taxes have never gone up.
But that was also after the fact.
Correct. That's my point though. They put up a monster sized building without permit.
But now we're going back and things have changed since that point in time, for reasons of that up there. And, you know,
When did they
reasons
put
of
that
that,
up?
people
Was it
go.
3 years ago,
23. I'd have to go, well, I'll ask him.
I can tell you their property taxes, I look back 7 years on their property taxes, and property taxes have not increased at all. Other than the normal. And that's a big building.
So, getting back to this deal, I'm sorry, I must have just misunderstood what the whole conversation was, but as we have other properties in town that we have listed for sale, and others that have purchased property from us, you know, when we're giving away a bunch of property, it would, to me, be one of those things, well, why did I pay for property when I could have just come in here and said, well, I'm gonna revitalize it and blah, blah, blah. That's the angle why I'm saying. I'm not saying I disagree or whatever, but I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate and so anyway, just so we get back on. I'll get it. So do you need a motion for the easement?
Well, yeah, we'll still need a motion for perpetual easement and what the two PIN numbers.
I'll make a motion for the easement.
Second.
Trustee Finley,
Yes.
trustee Barnes,
Yes.
trustee Reagan.
No.
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Simmons.
Yes. We issued a building permit, it was 2023-04. The Central Illinois Scale.
26, agreement for transfer of real estate property by and between the village of Tilton, Illinois and Kylie Bott, GVA T3 Sports Academy. We'll need to pass ordinance next meeting. Any questions?
It says on here, we're giving him a 2-year stipulation.
Yes, he wants 2 years. Instead of 1. He went, because he said it might take a while for his building to sell and he needs more time. He said if his building doesn't sell in the first year, he's not gonna have the money to substantially complete it. So we just asked if you would consider giving him 2 years instead of 1. Because this agreement right here says 1. So we're gonna have to change it. He called yesterday. Or I called him. Or he called
And the thing of it is,
him.
the lot that we're talking about has been through 3 different hands already. It sits back behind everything. And it gives him an extra, to me, it gives him more time to do lot clearing
Oh, I
in
would
preparation.
agree. Well, and especially with his building being for sale, I mean, that's anybody that wanted to, you know, hopefully sells quickly for him, but I can understand, totally not. And then I guess from a standpoint, if you don't own the property, how are you gonna get any type of money loaned against it to do anything? I mean, you got working capital you'd have to put out ahead, and let's face it, would any of us want to clear property that isn't yours and throw money?
What we'll do is deed it to him, but we're also gonna have him sign a deed back to us at the same time. So that if he doesn't complete it, then we deed it back to ourselves. Once he completes 50% of it, this is what the agreement says, once he completes 50% of it, then we tear up the deed where he deeds it back to us. That's what Wes came with on the agreement.
And we met with Kyle and Kelly's okay with.
That's what I called Kyle Kylie yesterday because he sent me some emails and he was asking me a lot of questions, and you can see this email he sent me that's on board. And we talked and I said, well, you know, what about 2 years? And he said that would help a lot. And if for some reason, I said, if for some reason you don't sell it, you know, maybe we can revisit it that time. We'll see, you know, if anybody's coming around needing this property now. So.
I just wanna make sure he's not, as long as he's in agreement with it.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he
yes.
wants to be here, he wants to build,
Oh,
and everything else,
absolutely.
it's just not putting behind the eight ball, that's.
Well, he knows I've tried to push his building a couple of times, with
Sure.
people that's come in here, so.
Yeah.
We heard he's got first prospect looking at it right now, so.
If he's okay with the 2 years and all that, then I'm okay with it.
Like I said, if there's a problem 2 years down the road, he can come revisit it, it's not like it's a prime piece of
Well, and
property.
I think we put that in agreement, and just say, you know, the goal's 2 years, and if you can't, you know, something happens in 2 years, you revisit it.
Second.
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Whiteman.
Yes.
Trustee Penny.
Yes.
No.
Regular storage, they didn't know how to put it down there, they put regular storage. Was you able to get that?
I got some numbers, got your numbers. Last time we met, we were talking
She
about.
did, well, she wanted to specify regular.
Oh, they did?
Their group order. Did you get your stuff gathered up?
That's right.
Yeah, I talked to TJ Ribby and, Jaden was leading earthworks on doing a road like you suggested. It did increase the price. I got an update on our project expenses. I'm not sure, this map there is sort of still for what to do. I'm not sure what direction we want to go. Are we still looking at TIF, or are we looking at general fund, or are we looking at?
I think we're gonna need to have.
Well, I think what Brian, correct me if it's wrong. This is everything, but right now your focus is on getting that drive in the breaker, right?
Right, and I had him break everything down into separate.
So he's actually, I think he's actually pulled together everything. And when we, because this stems from the discussion last month about getting the road in, the road.
Well, I'm gonna have to send this to Moran to see if any of it's TIF eligible first, see if we can use TIF funds.
Well, see, that's where, you know, they more or less said, the way we presented it with Rayburg and us as the developer together, that it really wasn't TIF eligible, or,
It's not TIF eligible because they're not permanent structures, is
Well,
what they
that's-
said. And it's not gonna increase the value of the land because they can be moved, you know, and you're selling
that was
them.
like through Rayburg, because
Well,
TIF eligible as far as the land. It is blight, it does cover the factor one rule, that was an old strip mine. It is property that is TIF eligible.
Would you like to talk, I mean, you can call Moran if you want, like, and they'll talk to you and they can answer your questions because they're TIF experts, I'm not.
Right, I will,
well,
because I just did a lot of what they say, but.
Brian, let's take this one step at a time. The first thing we talked about last month was getting the road access in there. Can we resolve that issue right now, and then we can discuss the rest of it as far as TIF eligibility on the other stuff? So you can get regulars in there and get the road built and.
Yes, because we did talk to Marvin Rayburg at our last meeting and told him about the 2-year tax rebate. He's, thanks you guys, loves the opportunity. He's even thought about building a lot bigger office to put in there. He's all for it. We're just trying to figure out a timeline and when we should get him in there.
Okay, so, well, I guess what I'm saying is, out of this, everything you gave us, the whole package here, let's discuss getting you the road in, the infrastructure. Okay, so you're looking at the project cost that you got was $23,600, get the road 200 foot back in there, like we asked before about, it's concrete ready. When you decide to go full blown development, they cut a little bit out, that's concrete.
Yeah. what TJ said would be fine. He said that land is, it wouldn't need big stone. He said you core it out 12 inches, go 8 inches of millings with 4-inch lifts, and then cap it with rope pack.
Okay, so
What do you-
what our discussion was at the last meeting. I would like to have a motion made for the $23,600 to get the entrance road put into this property so ravers can go into place. As far as the rest of this, we'll find out how much is tip eligible and so on, but we'll get you in there, like we talked about last month.
So we're paying for the whole thing.
Just the entrance road.
Yeah, I
The
understand.
the 23,600.
So my question is that we don't know if this entrance road is gonna be TIF,
No, I don't know.
so why don't we look at that and get the answer? I'm with you, I wanna get a minute.
Well, no, I guess what I'm saying is.
But if we're gonna think that the crossroad and, you know, this other stuff is gonna be TIF eligible, then why would we go and spend 23.6 if it's TIF eligible?
Well, the only thing I'm looking at on this situation is, Mike, we've already held them off a month. You could start working with Moran, it may take longer, and they need to get Raver moved.
No, I'm, like I said,
So, because it didn't come up last month, and the discussion was get us numbers on the road going in. That's why I don't want to address the road at this point.
so could we do this then and say, if we determine after calling Moran and it's a week later that we realize that this entrance road, because we're putting it as a base to do it the right way, not just laying gravel down, okay? Can we revert back to use TIF funds versus,
Okay, and that's fine,
If we
but
could do
they cannot start the work until the TIF has been approved and they've signed. Or at least approved.
or,
They couldn't move until it was okay, so if you're saying we approve this to be paid out of TIF if it's eligible. Okay, and if they say it's eligible, I can say, okay, draw up an agreement and they could sign it at, at the next board meeting when you approve it. And then we could go. But TIF eligible, if we're not gonna get the agreement tomorrow, it's probably gonna be next month before we get it, when we have the meeting.
then I'll make a motion to get it then
Well, what is gonna bring
I
up,
was staying with it.
what is gonna bring up too?
No, I know.
I
I'd
think,
rather pay
I
for
think
it.
at the last month's meeting, it was stated that that was not TIF eligible in accordance to Moran.
Well, and
Right,
like Brian
I
said,
read this backwards and forwards,
but I think you're right. I
the
mean,
places were not.
Yeah.
TIF eligible, some of them, and it didn't create enough
But I'm trying to get-
increments on the
Right.
tax base.
What I'm
They
saying
didn't
is-
really say it wasn't eligible.
What I'm saying is, Brian, I'm trying to get your road in there, we can worry and check TIF on everything else, but we get you in there so where we can move.
Right, it's infrastructure.
Because of
and
that
that's
project.
what we're trying to get in, but now, how are we gonna do the road? I don't want all this engineering done and we gotta do this and that and this changes. We gotta get it done now.
All they're doing is they're laying a base, so in future, when you do develop the area larger, the base is there, the infrastructure can be figured in at a later point, it could be bored under, ran beside, easements, the whole 9 yards. Right now, we're just trying to get you a road back in there, so you get Draper moved, because of the other project.
And so I guess I'm saying is what he suggested, the 8-inch or 12-inch core out, 8 inches, so that's how we're gonna do it. It'll be a done deal after tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty simple, you core it out, haul the material, 8 inches recycled asphalt, 2 inches lifts, compacted, a cap of 4 inches CA6, drove back. He's creating a base that he can put concrete on at a future date.
Yeah, we have no problem. And what our vision is there, when you see the crossroad, I put that in there, so if we wanna do that right, we can. If not, we're just gonna overlay. That would be where you come in, you turn, and you got.
What I'm saying is you're not that far along yet. You don't have any businesses in there, you don't know where it's gonna be located at. Right now, you need a road in there.
And,
And after last month, well, I asked you to bring some numbers back. Under the 23,600. Mike has made a motion to go ahead and build the road. But I just want you to understand, we can find out TIF on the rest of it.
Second.
But we're gonna keep our word on trying to get that road in there so River can get moved.
We'd be happy with that program, letting it go on that route. And
Trustee Reimer.
Yes.
Trustee Phillips.
Yes.
Trustee Sheet.
Yes.
Trustee Simmons.
Yes.
Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Like I said, as long as you understand, this only is for the road to get you in there to get River moved and all that because of what's stemmed from last month.
appreciate that. And
Tiffany, could contact Brad and ask what you asked about everything else. You got that?
well, here's another question. I know a few board meetings ago, we talked about sewer. And you said you're gonna set up a committee on what's coming down the road to see what we need for sewers in the area.
All right, sewer back there, right for that.
Well, they were talking about projects that are upcoming and you wanted to set a committee, so. I mean, we're in that on our TIF district, we need sewers. I'd like to be involved with this committee or give them my input. And I have some other ideas. We're gonna do some sewer work ourselves, if
No,
not.
here's how that works. When you subdivide and you start getting places in there, we'll make sure the sewer's to you.
And we're not gonna subdivide until after we're.
Well, that's what I guess what I'm saying is, right, we're not gonna run sewer across your property, you don't have to subdivide.
We're going on the assumption you built that they would come. We're not waiting on them to come in and build like everything else happens around
But
here.
you still have to subdivide it because you're talking about a crossroad, that's where the sewer.
Well, yeah, if it comes down to that top and we're selling off the lots, it will be
But the thing,
subdivided. But we're also,
but what I'm getting at is, you said that one time you was a numbers guy. It's kind of hard to justify spending $400,000 to put a sewer into nothing. Because there's nothing there. But if you got something coming there,
can I ask another question? Is portability verbiage in your TIF district agreement?
Or what do you mean, if you move?
No, if you have a TIF district expiring, number one, and or there's some money in it, you gotta do something with it.
Yes.
Portability verbiage
Oh.
is if you are located next to another TIF district on an expiring TIF district, and the only thing that divides it is a road, you can port that money
Yes.
to the other TIF district.
Yes, you can.
That would get us sewer.
you ain't
Instead of
got-
giving that
but you
money
don't
back to
have-
the
but you don't
county.
have nothing there.
But we've got some other, obligations out of TIP one that is expiring that are pretty substantial, that will take a lot of what's in there. You know, this deal with Patriot, we're probably gonna, because that's in TIP four, just like you guys are in TIP four. TIP four has very little, I don't know, how much does it have?
I don't know what you're word.
Cass ain't here. Anyway, there's not enough to
I'm just
do
getting it
that.
further
But
down
yes,
the road.
we can obligate that money to another project if we have enough available. Yes.
Right, don't give, I know the one board meeting a few months ago, you asked what we're gonna do with the money, and somebody mentioned, well, it goes back to the county. You can't let that happen.
No. We got obligations, plus, I didn't send up in my mayor's report, but I got a meeting Monday with a prospective developer coming in here that wants to build here. I gotta take him out, show him some property. That's where that money on a expiring tip, that's how that money can be used to boost up that, bring in people in here. As I said, if you guys get people coming in here, that's when TIF's gonna benefit you the most.
Well, that's where I was saying on this committee, I want to be involved. That's something I read going over the Illinois TIF stuff was on it. Portability verbiage, and if it's in your resolution, that's the way you guys can move money around for these projects.
Yeah.
When we set the sewer committee meeting, I'll let you know when it is, and
Yeah.
that way you can present your idea to the committee.
That is stuff I've been learning.
Well, no, that's fine, but like, you know, the TIF boils down to bring somebody here, TIF will work a deal with.
Right. No, we appreciate everything you guys are doing. We're wanting to keep the ball rolling and get some businesses in there.
No, we're more than happy to. You get a business, build over there, we're more than happy to work with the TIF, the whole nine yards, get sewer, and everything.
Well, Ross Lane, we're looking into our own sewer line, brings up to Donna Drive with our own lift station. It's a 5 horsepower, grinder. I mean, we don't do it ourselves if we have to, so.
From work.
when they bring Donna Drive and the new sewer down to the end eventually, then we'll be able to come right in there.
I'm saying, why would you need a lift station?
Because the elevation dropping down on Ross Lane, we've shot it.
Oh, you're gonna put, no, say that's what I'm saying, though, you're gonna, if you got something going on down there,
Well, we got one renter now, we're gonna have a couple other renters, it seems to be, yeah, so we're trying to keep that 2 acre lot there on Ross Lane. Not for say a trailer park, it's for highway campground, people to come off, if we're gonna have some spots available. I mean, that's sort of the start of that end of our project, we're gonna redo those sites, so. We're in the process now of bringing a water line to it, we're working on that. I think I mentioned you guys last meeting, talked to Tom and Andy from the water company, and they got back just 2 days ago. They are gonna put in the loop. They're gonna come down where Donna Drive is, and they're gonna shoot either under Ross Lane to Burke Spring Shop or bring it to Route 1 with the loop. So we're just gonna have to go to Donna Drive. We're not gonna have to run all the way to Route 1 for the new line. So this is all this has happened at once. We're doing the water lines, so the sewer discussion come in.
no, that's great.
We'll keep you up to speed on where we're at there, and if you wanna know what's coming in the future, we'll let you know. All I got.
Well, anyway,
Appreciate it.
we'll pay for the road.
Thank you.
And if you need a big steel building for the maintenance department, I got you covered.
Like I said, at least that gets you in here, gets river moved, cause like everybody knows, that other project,
Well, we told Marvin last week that even if this didn't develop, we're gonna go ahead and start on the lot portion and some of the other stuff and get the water line. And if it,
hey, I'm glad you're doing everything you're doing, but just don't put the cart before the horse. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
We'll get the road in there, and that way there gives you better visibility, the visual of how things could possibly look.
I'd rather ask for permission than forgiveness, even though I tell my guys the opposite.
Number 28, Patriot Motors.
That was just what we discussed at the last meeting. He wants to go move forward with it.
He agreed to the 60% on tip for 10 years and 50% on sales tax for 12.
And $150,000 up front for each dealership. Once we confirm that both dealerships are coming. And I did put a letter of credit on there too.
Letter of credit, and then that has to be after Paul gets done building them. And then when he's buying them from Paul.
No, he has to buy
Purchase the
full.
land first.
He's gotta buy the land.
Correct.
Because
Okay.
otherwise, if he does not buy the property and Paul
Yeah,
doesn't
we
work,
could just-
So he's buying, okay,
Paul
so
would
he,
have to be getting the tip.
okay, well, that's why I was wanting to make sure. So he's gonna buy the land, and then Paul's gonna put the stuff on the land.
Because he won't get a dime of this until he owns that property, so.
Right.
And he needs stuff up front, so. But yeah, he made a statement over there. Upon purchase, he'll purchase the property.
It was 60% rebate, I thought it was 50. It was 60?
Yeah.
There was a lot of numbers, so I just,
Start at 75.
no, yeah.
Yeah, I need a motion to, go into the agreement. Motion for Patriot Motors, 50% sales tax. No cap for 12 years. And, I mean, you missed one there, didn't you? Where's the 10, where's
It's
the?
there.
It's there.
Okay, 150,000 per dealership upfront, once confirmed coming, and proof of financing. Okay, 60% rebate on tip for 10 years. Good.
There's nothing said there about purchase.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's, but let's get the property. It's the,
That's a stipulation.
I'll put it in there.
It's not in that, you can add it.
What's the stipulation,
My computer went off.
upon the dealer purchasing the property.
Yeah, that was all part of it, so that was the conversation. Paul, if you remember, Paul said that he was selling the property before, blah, blah, blah. So I'm assuming that would be in this agreement.
It has to
That's
be,
what she's putting there right now.
he has to acquire the property.
And Sean knows that too, so.
Yeah, it's all the rebate. But yeah, because Paul didn't want the rebate, he wanted to go to him.
Well, Paul,
That's why he wants me to take the property beforehand. That's what he said out here. Anyway.
yeah, no, it was the only way, Paul owned the property, was gonna build a building, Sean would have some of the property, and then Paul would have it in the contract. So. They still need money, and that's with after purchasing the purchasing of the property is part of it.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Whiteman.
Yeah.
Trustee Sims. Yes. Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Okay, 1314 Georgetown Road, the old trailer park behind Lamplighter. He came down to 300,000 and village drops the wing for that, what was it? 3 acres, 3 acres, almost 4 acres, 3.75.
I guess the two questions I have is how much was the lien that we dropped?
13,000 or, I don't know. 13 or 14,000, I think.
Oh, your computer went down.
And
Yeah.
two, do we have
And
a,
why do we drop it?
well, that's the
That's not
proposal, that's his proposal.
Oh.
And then two, do we have a letter of intent or something from the hotel or whatever?
I couldn't hear
Do
you.
we have a letter of intent from a hotel or whatever you,
No.
your plan?
We do not.
Okay. I stand the same way. I mean, if we don't have somebody that wants it, I don't think we'd go buying it myself, especially with all the issue. I think TJ made it clear with various concerns that we had with it. We have somebody that wants to buy or wants to develop something. Might be a
I did talk to that realtor last week who's worked with several developers and he knows a hotel developer and he was gonna, I showed him that property and I said, this is for sale. And he was gonna show it to him. That was the one that called.
I mean, to go back to it, I mean, if we're not gonna put sewer in for potential stuff over here, then why would we buy land for, in hopes that we have a hotel?
Well, the potential stuff over there, they don't know where it's gonna be at. That is what I'm saying.
Well,
I'd feel more
we don't have
comfortable
sewer
with this
unless
story
they're
and
about
a
one
little
for the
more
most part.
verification for something. I wouldn't have a problem if we had more verification, something coming into that. I mean,
Well, honestly, gentlemen, I'm gonna have here Monday, I'm gonna show him that property and see if he was gonna be, if he'd be interested in that piece of property.
that'd be,
'Cause he doesn't, the guy that we're gonna speak to, he does not need to have frontage.
well, I mean, when you talk with them, I'll be honest, I'd feel more comfortable waiting until we have more confirmation as far as, yeah, this is a good area.
lines and.
You know, whether it's this week or next,
From the trailers and.
it would be,
I've been on the full
Yes.
time.
No, that's fine,
Yes.
I have no problem with it. Just give me a direction on where to go, call him back, tell him.
Well, at this point, I mean,
Are we done with it until there's prospective builder?
I potentially would say be on a hold with it until we have more confirmation of somebody, yeah, I want that spot, and, you know,
Okay, no, that's no problem, I just wanna be able to give him an answer.
yeah, I would want to hold off until we're more, you know, if we have, when you come up, so yeah, for now, I'll be on a hold,
No, that's fine,
to know.
like I said, I just need to be able to call him back up, because he lives in what, Michigan?
you need a motion on it for
How
that?
many years you been trying to sell it?
Well, yeah, but he wanted
That's
How
$800,000,
much he want?
what his original price was.
Will he come down 500?
I need a motion
50
to
grand?
not
He still has a mortgage on it, I think.
buy property at this time.
But yeah,
I got your second.
I know what you want done, so, just need to make a motion not to. Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Well, we're talking.
Trustee Finn,
Yes.
trustee Wagner,
Yes.
trustee Sheets,
This is not,
Not by this time.
yeah, or,
Yes.
yeah, yes.
trustee Sims. Yeah. Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
You get me, you get it. Okay. Number 30, meetings recorded.
I brought this up a couple meetings ago and things, one, it helps, I like like I mentioned earlier with the finance, committee, being able to read it and you feel like you're there, listening to some of the conversations, that are out there. I know, well, your life has changed, you get to come up here a little bit more than you used to. But I don't have that opportunity with my job to come out as much as I would like to, but I think if we looked at having all meetings recorded, not necessarily to put them out as public, but on an onboard situation, you could have conversations. I mean, let's go back to the Patriot, for example, when Sean was talking, and he says, hey, remember what we talked about? Well, that's not what we talked about, or so, I can't remember exactly what his verbatim was, but if we had that, of what the conversation was, and then you come in and say, okay, well, here's what was said. We already know what his thought process is. Now we can start looking at it from there instead of listening to him again. He can present, obviously, but you'd have a better background idea of what's going on.
The only flaw I could see was something of that sort would be the FOIA law. Because if you're in a, let's say, negotiation with a prospective developer, and those meetings are recorded, say Danville catches wind, and we got this prospect coming in here. They could FOIA the information, find out where we're at, and then enter us and hold someone away.
Can't they FOIA it anyway?
Well, there's no
We don't
minutes.
record them now.
There's no.
You're talking about every single meeting we have in there.
Wouldn't
have
there
it
be
recorded?
minutes from a meeting that you have?
Huh?
Notes and stuff that are from a meeting that you have, wouldn't there be notes that would be for you?
I think there's some preliminary meetings, that people just, maybe come in to get an idea, not, committee meetings, they're all recorded.
Let's call
We're not talking.
it.
I know, but I'm just saying, committee meetings, they're all recorded. But if somebody just comes in and wants, hey, I'm kind of thinking this is something I want to do. I think you start getting into, because those aren't anything set in stone, they're just, and then when it comes back to committee meetings, is where we have for TIF or sewer or whatever. I'm recording those, kind of worried about just coming in here.
How do you think some of the people who we meet with, when we say, well, we're gonna record you, how do you think they're gonna like that?
How do you think some people would want to be recorded? Because then whatever they talk about would be verbatim for what, whatever you talk about is there. So, I mean, the board is the ones that have to make a decision on something. And if you don't have all the details, for
But the
example.
thing with it, the details that you get are the final details. The details leading up to that, you don't need. The details leading up to when it is presented to the board, and the board can ask questions and further that conversation along. We're talking about everything prior to that. We had one developer come in here and go, we don't want nobody to know we're talking here. We want it to stay here in the rooms. It sounds weird, but they ended up coming here. But that's how the conversation started. We don't want nobody to know we're looking. You don't want nobody to know we're here. And if it gets out that we record all meetings, it might actually scare away developers that don't want to come in here because they want to negotiate, they want to hang.
Maybe we should call the other towns and see how they handle it. What do you think?
I would like to understand that because I think we're unique because we we have more development going on than anybody else in the county. But it's also a scenario where, once again, I go back to it, is that I don't have the opportunity to sit up here, or be a part of some of the meetings. So you know more than I do, because you're a part of the meetings, for example. So now that you are retired, you can understand that. Virgil's kind of the same way, obviously, he's been retired for a couple of years.
Well, we're also the head of the Senate.
But I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying that there's opportunities for that. So if you're trying to understand what's happening as a board to vote on something and you don't have the opportunity to be a part of it, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you do have the opportunity, because what goes
I
on
guess
in
I
there,
couldn't-
no, what goes on in there prior to coming to the board for a vote? That's the primary job of the board is to vote. What goes on there prior to being presented to you is just negotiation.
I
Well,
understand.
I think there's,
So once it comes here to the board, that's when it comes down to, it doesn't matter what happened prior. What matters is what you're presented, because that's the action that you're gonna take. Now, if
I
you-
disagree with you.
something-
When Patriot sat there and we had a whole negotiation that day,
but he went through,
and Patriot sat there and said, this is not what we talked about.
but there's,
So I disagree with what you're
No.
saying.
No,
That's what he-
let me put it this way.
that's what
I
he
don't
meant
know,
by the
I'm gonna
committee.
solve this, I'll put it this way. In government, my job is to sit in there, negotiate, come to the closest thing possible and bring to the board. Your primary function only.
You
is
better
to
lower
vote.
your voice,
Call-
because I'm not gonna put up with your crap when you get mad.
I'm not mad.
You want me to raise mine on you, right back.
Mad.
Bull crap, you are too.
All I'm telling you
I'm
is,
putting up with your crap.
call the attorney and ask him how it's supposed to work. I am not gonna record meetings with developers. I'm not doing it.
That doesn't give you the reason to raise your voice.
I'm gonna talk for a moment. I think when we have preliminary meetings, one thing.
No,
The meetings, no, wait a minute, let me finish. The meetings then that we are gonna have, if we're talking to somebody through a TIF, that's done as a TIF committee. Those are recorded. Okay, you didn't have information, but that was, our TIF committee met with somebody. If you guys have a finance meeting, I'm not at the finance meeting. Okay, but it's the finance committee, as they meet as a committee, is recorded. The things that come in before they get to the stage of, okay, we're interested, we want to come back and talk to your zoning committee and see what do we have to have zoning wise. They're going to talk to the zoning committee. Okay, then it goes from the zoning committee, it comes to the board for votes. So those are, not everybody is at the zoning committee, not everybody's at the TIF meeting. Those meetings are recorded. But the preliminary, somebody comes in and says, where can I'm thinking about putting in a building over here. What do I need to have? And we said, well, you can, here's your ordinances, you find out your ordinances. Then they can come back and say, okay, I want to meet with the zoning committee. So those meetings are recorded. And those are the preliminary meetings. Then it's brought to the board. So there's like multiple, there's a couple stages there, not just we are come in and I'm gonna talk to the zoning committee and then the board votes on it. They usually come in, and those meetings are recorded.
Well,
So-
here's what I expected when you guys had your negotiation with the committee. You guys would come out here and say, this is what we discussed, this is what we agreed, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then we vote and pass. But that's not what happened.
But we
We
had
had
a
a
meeting
whole-
minute,
We had a TIF meeting
and there were minutes on that.
and there were minutes and there, I don't know, I'm assuming, I'm pretty sure it was reported. So there was a TIF meeting that we went over and discussed with them. It was recorded. So that was, stuff all was available. It was a blind, not to me,
Is that the one he said that he didn't think that was where what you guys discussed?
yes. He didn't think, he said, no, it was, this is what we, but, same
Yeah,
thing.
he told me that was on there.
If it's a zoning committee or whatever, if somebody comes in and has this, one person walks in, wants to talk to somebody, so you're gonna have that. And then they say, okay, well, I don't need to, I'm not gonna build or I'm not gonna do this project or whatever. Then you're gonna have the ones that come back, okay, I wanna move forward with this, I need to meet with the zoning committee, the sewer committee, whatever. That's where the committee's gonna be. I mean, that's where I've always
Then we should
understood.
we should utilize the committees then for everything.
Yeah, because
Well,
they're not,
yeah, I mean,
for
But
sure.
to move on, all I was doing is trying to feel informed
Well-
of something, what was going on.
To answer your
If that's not
question,
gonna work,
the
then
reason I got
so be it.
upset, I've sat here for 3 months now and listened to you insinuate that I hold information.
Well, then, tell me what I said to say, for you to assume I said that, or whatever, for how you feel.
Well, it would be nice if we had that information in a timely manner. You popped off comments like that for like the last 3 months. So you're making an insinuation that I'm pulling dirty tricks.
Will you pull it up on the thing and let me see that, because I disagree,
Well, let's move on with our meeting and get it finished. and then-
but it doesn't give you the reason to raise your voice.
No, I'm just getting this, I'm just clearing the air right now because it's been going on for a while that people think that we're in there pulling stunts or making sideline deals or something. I want everybody to understand right now, that is not happening, and everybody gets information as soon as possible.
Well, I'm making it clear, if you're insinuating that I said that, or am saying that, that's false.
Yeah,
Like I just said, I look at the finance committees and things like that, when they're recorded, I feel like I'm there and I get information from it. And then when I come in, I read it. So then when I come in here, I understand how many police officers you have, how many part-time and all that. That was great discussion, because when I sat on the finance committee, you signed papers and you didn't do anything like that.
No, I agree with you, Mike. That's
So,
what
from that
I'm
standpoint,
getting at. What I'm getting at.
Mine was the situation of just being informed. That's all I care about. But when you try and make a decision and somebody states that this isn't what was said in there,
No,
whether or not I know it or not, the only other question is, it's been really nice with what she's had. That's why I brought it up.
I'm just saying, there's again, like negotiation stuff like that, that can't go up publicly. That can't be recorded because of the fact that it can be pulled.
He didn't
They
say
want
publicly.
anonymity. A lot of people,
A lot of people do,
they want anonymity. They don't
because
want-
they're not sure, they wanna test the water before they actually come in.
I understand that.
East, number 31, East Ross Lane Solar Project.
I sent that guy an email yesterday about what his realtor told me. I reminded him of the 6-inch brass requirement, and I sent him that ordinance. And I said, this is what your realtor said. If that's true, let us know so we don't market it for you, because we can't tell somebody that they can't hold on to their property.
You're talking about West Ross.
You're talking about West.
This
Oh, I'm
is,
sorry.
West, this is east.
Is it, okay, I'm sorry. Which one is this? Is this the same property?
East, which is the one
Oh.
with
Okay,
where it was a warehouse and the,
yeah. They're supposed to have many warehouses. They've got to stay so far back
the gas line.
because of the gas.
well, we heard basically that there's gonna be a Bitcoin
And,
data center basically going in.
and he emailed me and said he had no plans for a Bitcoin mine. Cause I said, I called him the day that somebody had told me about it.
Right.
And he said, no, I'm not gonna do that. And I said, well, we're not for that, so I need to know.
Cause he said he already had like 2 places or something like that already. He's got it.
I didn't know he emailed you back, but that's when I called you that day. I asked if, and you said something about email.
Yeah.
Well, another thing on that situation, why are they putting more solar in than they need?
That's like I said, this is a behind the grid. They sell the power to the grid.
That's not what we agreed on, was it? We agreed on him to put solar in to power his
Yes.
sheds.
His
He
project.
powers his sheds, but the excess goes to the grid and he
So
sells.
he's putting extra in to make money off of it.
Yes, that's correct.
That's what, did we agree on that? Did we?
It's part of what that kind of solar is, but what's complicating this situation, I believe, is where the gas line comes through. And then we had to have voted on certain things, and now it seems like it's going farther out than what it was originally supposed to be. So, we haven't been very good communication with it, not necessarily up here, but from him.
Add to it, Mike, no one knew this, but Tim Busby set a limit off. From Ross Lane, from my understanding. So you got the 50-foot both sides of the gas main, plus Tim Busby set back limit.
And the lady that was sitting here at board meeting, she could have spoke up, but she didn't. So I feel like we weren't getting the whole.
About what?
When we said asked about the project and building and this and that, and she said that, oh, we're waiting on this and waiting on that, well.
We'll just have to watch it.
Well,
And that's the reason I said to bring it up.
Yeah.
I know
We
they
need to
need
be on top of it.
communication with Tom. Because of all the problems, because we required an easement, then you got the gas line easement, but.
We just recorded the plat. The plat got recorded.
But you had that setback, so
Okay.
the original plan was all fine and dandy, but I don't think they realized about that panhandle gas line that Busby threw that curveball there, like doing that setback. So last time I talked to Tom about that one, they were trying to rearrange things to fit by the guidelines they got.
Well,
Oh,
my
and there was
point of
also,
bringing it up is just make sure we're on top of it and not letting him.
and there was also a road entrance issue at one point that Tom was working with them on. So they had a bunch of curveballs thrown at them and it's kind of messed up their goal, how they had it planned out.
What was the original meeting you guys had with them to begin with? When he first came to you?
I'll just put it.
No, the original meeting we had was for Westlaw,
No.
that everybody voted that.
And that got voted down. They were voted at the same time.
Yeah, they put East Rush Lane right behind it.
And then, when that came through, Eric's, I think Ryan, was it Ryan or you, Mike, one of them said, I have no problem east, but I have a problem west. Or might have been
He's
Scott,
just further.
Yeah, I don't remember.
might have been Scott.
Further down the Route 1.
They didn't originally come in wanting to put a solar farm in?
No, the
It's a
original
community.
building on the west was a strip mall with solar behind it feeding to the strip mall.
And that's that
Solar
3 years that they
array.
don't miss out.
Right, yeah.
That's all right. Yeah.
Solar array.
And then the next one was storage units with solar behind it on East Road.
They first came here like, what, 3 years ago?
They never came in here for a solid solar building.
When was it?
April 2024.
That's the first time it was on the agenda?
No, that's when it was passed.
Oh, yeah, because we talked about it a bunch before that, and we had zoning
Well,
meetings.
Scotty was filling it. I think Brian was filling it.
Anyway, the reason I put it on there is to make sure, just follow up, like I said, with the email and what the.
I'll send that to you on my computer, yeah. I thought I did, I'm sorry.
So, okay. G Street, Glendale Street Bridge.
At one point, I think, was it Tom or something, when you had to have new
Bearings.
bearings and everything else. I haven't heard about anything for a year. So just sitting there thinking, okay, well, here we are again, it's still got the bump in it and everything else.
No, they fixed that bump.
It's just-
No, they
Joints are bad.
Joints are getting bad.
Not the one going south. by-
Real bad.
They did.
Wow.
When you
There's
came-
4 of them.
They did.
I mean, just that right there.
They don't
Why
wanna put it on
But
ground.
it's got-
The whole thing was, they were supposed to fix that when O'Neill's put the new bearings in. And O'Neill's, about ready to put.
All the expansion joints now are really bad.
Because TJ, that's not work TJ could do, it has to come through Nick over here.
I think Nick was supposed to be his thumb on the contract or something with it, wasn't he?
Nick,
Who?
Nick O'Neill, I thought that he had.
They did the bearings on
Did he do the bearings?
it, I think so, 2 or 3 years ago. Maybe long, probably longer than that, they redid the bearings.
Expansion joints are toast.
It's the fraction joints now that need some serious attention.
It's rough.
Well,
like I said, last time I talked to TJ about stuff, he said Nick had put bearings in it, I think Tommy.
Tom verified it was probably about 6 months to a year ago. That's the reason I brought it up, is that, well, I just drove over it about.
Maybe he just looked at that. Maybe he was like.
I hope we don't have to have those lights taken out again.
I remember him in that.
So I hope we don't have to have those
I
lights
think
taken out and
lights
put
were
back up again.
something, remember they galvanized or something?
Oh, yeah.
So let's just have Tom follow up with that.
I got it written down.
How you doing?
Well, we'll reach out to everybody, find out what's exactly going on. If bearings will be put in, if they're put in already, why the other one ain't got fixed yet, if the other one ain't fixed.
I was just gonna say, I think Butch was the one who said it. I think it's the expansion joints, not the bearings. Is that
Well,
right?
it's
Probably all.
Well, yeah, probably all, but the expansion joints is where you're filling it at.
Well, I think what the was is, the bearings are going bad, that's why the expansion joint went bad.
But you got one section up there that shouldn't have nothing to do with the bearing, because it's between the bridge. They've got an extra expansion joint in there that's just on ground. And that's, is pretty bad too. So you got one is the expansion joint solely and not the bearing. But the other ones, yes, it could be the bearing because it's the end, each end of the bridge.
Yeah. We'll reach out to everybody and find out what's going on. Because the last time I heard was they thought about fixing that spot going southbound when they did the bearings on the bridge. Because it would change the elevation, that way there they could make sure they match the elevation.
And you can even see how much the sidewalk has dropped as well, because of that. And you surely don't want some old lady or something, you know, or even a young person tripping over that and falling.
Well, I know they spent a lot redoing the south side of that because they had put muck in there and they had to dig it all out, rebuild it.
Right. I agree with you 100%. I've seen this, but I'm just saying that, especially going south, you can see how much the sidewalk has even dropped.
We'll reach out to everybody. I'll start with Tom and see what Tom knows about it. East Ross Lane Bridge update. I asked about that. I said, because there's nothing wrong with the bridge. The weight, according to county engineer, there's no weight, well, that's all. The weight limit on that bridge for the traffic we have with hammering and dump trucks and all that is fine. Yeah, they got some fancy thing, it cannot exceed X amount of pounds. The weight limit signs are actually put on the road, had nothing to do with the bridge. So, talking to Bill, we need to determine what we're gonna do, because I honestly believe the weight limit signs got put on the road, steer people down 14th Street when the state police was constantly setting up.
They were put up to deter the landfill traffic. After we redid 14th Street, they wanted them back on 14th Street, and that's why the weight limits were put up on Lost Lane.
So, that being said, we need to do something with that weight limit, because right now, Ameren and the truck drivers that live back down in that area are basically illegal because of that sign.
So what do we do to fix it?
Pardon?
So what do we do to fix it?
Well, basically, we can possibly just sit here and vote to remove it, because I do not believe there was ever an ordinance made. I think they just walked out there and slapped signs up, so we just sit there and said, remove the sign.
When you say they, who's they?
They, prior administration, well, cause like I said, he said it to 14th Street, but it also helped move the overloaded trucks that go into the dump over to 14th Street, so they would have to hit that scale when the state was setting it up every
Would we
time.
need to have a weight limit figured out for the bridge?
No.
Well, I know, there's gotta be some weight limit.
No,
on
the
it.
county said the bridge was fine. It
Okay.
goes up to, at that time.
That's still
It's like 150,000 or something like that.
Yeah,
That's what I mean,
60,000.
with
That's
no-
what I asked.
What about the signs that we had to put on the bridge about the permit only or no permit?
No
Going
permit
across the
on
bridge? Yeah, whatever that sign was.
Well,
That came from the county.
well, that permit is what I'm talking about. That, normal traffic's fine, permitted load, that exceeds weight limit of anything that's on the road. That cannot go across that bridge.
So in other words, the permit may say it's 60 tons. If it's anything,
Well, permit just
permit
says
would go.
no
well,
permit.
Most of your
you're saying.
class one roads are 80,000. Anything over 80,000 is what they're saying.
There you
You
go.
can't go down that road.
Right.
42.
And what kind of work needs to still be done?
It needs expansion joints, I think, doesn't it?
What?
That bridge.
No.
Cross
We were told, I
Ross.
was told at one point in time, county was gonna replace it all.
We were supposed to pay
I
half of
think
the
me and you
estimate.
met, but I think we said in the meeting to Tom.
It was supposed to be like 400 grand, and we were gonna pay half.
And then
So,
I never heard no more about
Well,
it.
see,
and
well,
he called the engineer and they're like, oh, no, it's okay, and I'm like, okay, well, what about the repairs we need?
Because they were adding that one in with the red bridge and another bridge
Yeah.
somewhere in the county trying to get
well,
all.
they're replacing one cross plant.
Yeah, they're doing West Rosslyn now.
It got approved. They're replacing this. That's when I really called him up to, hey, he goes, we went down there, he said, we don't have a restriction on that bridge, you just can't go exceed. So weight limit, so we remove the sign, Ameren in good shape, the truck drivers who live back in that area is in good shape. Everybody's in good shape to be able to drive on it legally.
So if we remove them though, should there still be whatever the weight limit is for the bridge?
If we remove them, I think it automatically goes to 80,000 pounds.
It's permitted, it's permitted, right?
Well, we looked this up, because remember when you go north on Greenwood Cemetery, there's no signs, correct?
I'd have to.
And I'm pretty
North
sure.
on Greenwood Cemetery, I think it's 8 ton.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a second, me and you talked about this, Phil. Is that what it says, going north?
Yes.
Yes, because when all this was
Because
going
it
on, I
stops-
drove it,
Because it
Ours
stops
was
the
6,
trucks from going.
and then, yeah, that was
You have to
8
take a
ton
left
on
and-
Greenwood.
But if it's not posted, does that mean anybody can go over it? If tonnage isn't posted?
The road,
There's probably a set
Yeah, well,
regulation.
it
if
says
not-
permitted, right?
that's for the bridge, that's for the
Right.
bridge, so they can't go over 80,000 and cross that bridge.
So why don't we,
There's no weight limit.
why don't we just remove the signs after talking with Tom to see what type of tonnage we need to put on the road?
Yeah,
And go from there.
At that point, you'll know what tonnage is on the road if there's no sign posted.
Well, Tom's gonna tell you the 6 to the Terrible Road.
Well, that road's already toast, so if you're wanting to do any type of development down there, you wasn't planning on redoing that road, because that road's falling apart bad.
we're pretty
From
much
about
responsible.
Burke
for that.
Springs east is
You
just,
don't wanna hang that right side.
we're fighting it nonstop.
We're pretty much responsible for that all the way down to Greenwood, aren't we?
It's our, yeah, it's our road.
Well, we just need to make sure the water goes down, the truck drivers in the back of that rail station can get out. Ameren doesn't have to worry about going to their home.
Good property on that. Isn't just in Campbell Township.
So if you did like 20 tons, that had to rule out load the semi, could probably let everybody else go.
Okay, so we'll get with Tom then, talk to Tom about that, try to go. But here's the thing, we're gonna set a weight limit on a road that has no weight limit set up. They have signs through it, there's technically never been an ordinance to classify that as 6 ton.
Well, if we talk to Tom and get a recommendation, maybe pass an ordinance.
Maybe we can do it in a way where it's not a designated truck route.
Right.
There are special reasons to go up and down it. Like Ameren and the people live up there and all that, but then it keeps the garbage trucks off of it.
Your ordinance in 295-22 states 6 ton for everything in the village except whatever streets. So you probably need to go in and put that as an exception if it'll allow, if Tom agrees.
Well, just let me ask you a question, I never pay attention, 'cause I don't drive a truck anymore. Is L Street, Second Street, First Street posted?
Yes.
Well, in your ordinance, you've got L and Fifth Street as exemptions. Because they're technically the truck road. Highways reserved for exclusive state jurisdiction by state statutes, Highway L and Fifth Street are all exempt from their tonnage in your current ordinance.
So they made kept the truck route?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just, after you made that statement, I'm happy.
So we
anyway,
just-
we need to do something
We
with
need
this.
to add that street in there. As an
Sorry?
exception, so we need to just add that in there as an exception, is it? As long as.
If that's what you want to do, yes, to
I think
open
we
that
need
up.
to Tom and have him make a recommendation.
What about 14th Street then?
Well, they pulled a blanket call.
Yeah.
All the truck traffic goes down.
They pulled a blanket call, they
Truck
keep
route
that
out.
up residential.
Yeah, going around to the
You know, people taking their trucks home.
Right.
It's a state truck route then. It's-
truck route.
Well, I mean, that's not, it's not in our ordinance.
Yeah,
Kind of what?
Park them in town overnight.
All right, we'll give a Tom on that, get his recommendation.
You also need to look at 14th Street then too. Also have to look at 14th Street because,
14th Street's a designated truck route, and it has to be in order to get the
Yeah.
grant money to put.
right, but according to the ordinance, it's still not, it wasn't listed. I know it's designated.
Well, we'll just
Yeah,
need
it's a big
to
shed.
take a look at all the work to tear up and walk through it.
Yeah.
A lot of 14th Street wasn't even in Tilton, though, probably.
Some of it was.
Any need for executive session? Need a motion to?
Motion to adjourn.
Trustee Sheets.
Yes.
Trustee Barnes.
Yes.
Trustee Sims.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Hardy.
Make our afternoon